Coach Reed said a few hours ago that you and his son had a bit of a relationship dating back. I think he was involved with the Giants, and he also said that he saw some similarities between Kansas City and your team. I'm interested in how much of an influence Coach Reed's been on you and what things potentially you maybe adopted from what he does.
Yeah, well, Britt Reed, who's on their staff, worked with me when I was the offensive coordinator at Temple and did a tremendous job. During that time, I got to know the Reed family, Coach Reed, Miss Tammy, who's always been fantastic to Julie over the years and fantastic to me as well. Then their younger son, Spencer, played for us at Temple before leaving to go on a mission and then finishing up in Utah. But just a great family. And, I think the things, obviously I didn't work for Coach Reed, Jeff Nixon, who's on our staff, did. But the things that I've always taken away from Coach were just his consistency. He's the same guy every day. You can't tell when you're around him. Are they winning? Are they losing? I mean, he just has a plan and he sticks to it. He doesn't panic. And I think as a result, people respond to him and relate to him. And so his work ethic is legendary. And he's always been there anytime I had a question or needed something. So I'm very grateful to him. In terms of, similarities, I think when you look statistically, what they've done offensively, and some of the things that we've done well offensively, there are a lot of things that do match up. I think they've just put the ball in the end zone a lot more, whereas we've kicked a lot more field goals. And so we've talked about that a lot here, having to, I think they have 41 touchdowns and or field goal opportunities, and we have 39. The problem is they have more touchdowns and we have more field goals. And so, they are advanced in their system. They know what they're doing. They've been in it a while. Our guys are doing a great job. They're growing in it. And, we can only hope to have the success that they've had.
Let's go to Josh Klein and then Miles Simmons.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, the biggest question is Christian. Looked like he was back at practice today. Any updates on how did you think he looked out there?
Yeah, Christian was at practice today. He looked like Christian. He looked good. He looks sharp. We'll see how his body responds to, obviously he did a little bit last week. But this was his first padded day. See how his body responds to the duress of today and to see how it responds tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon.
And then just real quick, I know you not to talk too much about injuries, but Jeremy Chinn in the knee, was that something that cropped up recently, or he's been kind of dealing with it for a while?
No, just something coming out of the last game. Sometimes when you're a rookie, you have some things from college that can get aggravated, but we'll just kind of play it by ear and see how he feels over the next couple of days.
Hey, Matt, how nice was it to have Rhule Douglas back today, and just what has he meant to your defense overall this year?
It was fantastic to have Rhule back. He's a really, really, really good corner, really good player, but he's an even better teammate, tremendous leader. I just love having the guy around. I know that his teammates do too, so I was happy to see him back out there and back at it.
Let's go to Joe Person and then David Newton.
Hey, Matt, back on the Britt Reed deal. Andy said that Britt was lobbying for you to get a position on that Eagles staff. Did you know that was going on, and how close do you think you came to getting a gig in Philly?
Not close enough, apparently. So, I probably was putting them up to it. Like I said, I love the family. The opportunity to have coached under Coach Reed, to learn under him, would be something that any young coach would want. And you look at all the coaches that are having success as head coaches out on their own after spending time with him. So, Britt always tried to put a good word in for me, but never quite worked out.
And is there anything you've done in shaping your program or your staff that was in any way influenced by Andy, or no?
Probably not too much, just because I never worked for him. The one thing I've always taken away, like I said, just talking to Jeff and talking to, Britt and talking to some other guys on that staff, just how, he never panicked. He never changed things up, when they won or when they lost, like the plan's the plan. The process is the process. And I think a lot of people make emotional, rash decisions. They listen to outside noise, or they start to panic inside, and they start doing all kinds of different things. And Coach Reed, I think people really enjoy working for him. Now, it's hard. You have to be a grinder, but they really enjoy working for him, playing for him, because he's just so consistent. And so that's the message that I personally took away from my time around him, that I've tried to apply. Maybe not always successfully, but I've tried.
Hey, Matt, hope you're doing well. Wanted to ask you, what's the difference in preparing for a guy like Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray, who both run around a lot? And who's your scout team quarterback for both, if it's the same?
Kyler's more of a scramble and take off, and he runs 4.3. Now he's got a great arm. He can throw it down the field. I think the biggest thing with Mahomes is that he can throw. He's completed balls. He can drop balls in from 55, 60, 65 yards away. So you can scramble up and or he can scramble out, and you can run up to try to take away the run, but then he'll throw the ball over your head for a touchdown. Both very similar, both dynamic players, both guys who can make plays with their feet and with their arms. I just think, his arm strength is so severe. He's so strong that they can run double moves at 30 yards, which they can run routes that you don't ever see. You don't ever see some of the routes that they run at the depths that they run them. And it's just because of their elite speed, his arm strength. And then they also have a fantastic offensive line. And then, we always rotate all three guys. I mean, Teddy always wants to take scout team reps. I think he feels like that's important for the team. And Will and PJ both, both guys can throw the ball a long way, so they both were out there today.
Let's go to Jonathan Jones and then Phil Orban.
Hey, Matt, wanted to ask you about third down conversions for your defense. Obviously, you guys have been struggling with that this season. Been good on third and long when you can get them in third and long, but, third and short and intermediate has been a struggle for you all. Halfway through the season, have you been able to diagnose what those issues have been for you all?
I would say it's never just one thing. Like we stopped them on 3rd and 1 last week down at the goal line, which we hadn't, I believe, up until that point hadn't had a 3rd and 1 stop. Stopped them, and then they kicked it. I think we've played man, we've pressured, and I think last week is really, and I hate to go back talking about last week as we're getting ready for this game, but I think there's always truth in everything. Like, I think, and I don't have it in front of me, I think they finished 3 of 9. But when you add in the 3 holding calls, that's really, 6 of 12. So they're really 50% on third down. But on those holding calls, we had a sack, we had a stop, like we really got off the field, and then penalties hurt us. And so to me, it's like, well, it wasn't one guy holding 3 times. It was 3 different guys. And we had made a commitment, hey, we're going to play more man this week. Didn't play quite as much man against the Saints. So I think just, we're just trying to each week find the matchups that are in our favor, get to the quarterback, because that's the number one way to get off the field. And we've gotten some pressure. But I don't think it's any one thing. I think it's just, a little bit of everything. And even some of that is even 1st and 2nd down, I mean, if you're in 3rd and 3, the odds tilt dramatically in the offense's favor. So you have to be in 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. And that happens by what you do on 1st and 2nd down. So all of it is just kind of free flows on top of each other. And we're just trying to get better at everything we do. That's the only way I know right now for our guys to improve as a team, is just keep improving in every area that we can. 1st down, 2nd down, and then all the different 3rd down areas.
Hey, Matt, understanding Rhule's back and Dante got an extra couple days to get healthy. Those other guys in the secondary that were kind of forced into action on Thursday night, how valuable can those reps be? And is there ever any concern with putting some of the younger guys in a situation like that, maybe before you would want to in an ideal situation?
Well, I think in a perfect world, you don't want to put young players in before they're ready, because, sometimes a lack of success can affect them, and it can, it might, sometimes you don't even see it, but it can affect their confidence for a long time. That being said, we're in the situation that we're in. Rhule missed the last 2 games. Dante's been limited. So you put the young guys in and let them play. And there's no doubt, absolutely no doubt in my mind that those reps accelerated their growth. But here again, we're not playing for the future. We're trying to win now. We're trying to win this week because that's what we owe our team. And so hopefully that the benefit of those reps will show up this week and next week, because you never know when you're going to have to be counted on. And, there's a standard for performance for us, and we need everyone to match it.
Let's go to Steve Reed and then Elena Getzenberg.
Hey, Matt, I just want to follow up quickly on Christian. Right now, I understand it's Wednesday, but are you anticipating that he will play this week? Are you preparing as if he will play this week?
I practiced him. Again, I'm taking it kind of day by day. I'm also practicing Mike and Trenton and Rodney Smith. So I'll see how he does tomorrow. But I'm very hopeful that he can play. We're excited to see him play, but I also understand that we have to see how the body reacts.
Hey, Matt, I know you seem like you're going to see where Jeremy Chinn is this week, but how would you go about replacing what he does for this defense? Just because, he fills a variety of roles. Even if he's limited Sunday, how do you kind of go about replacing what he does?
I don't know that any one guy can, just because of, as you said, the versatility. You would just play people in more, different people in more traditional roles. You wouldn't be able to kind of have the hybrid nature of him going from safety to nickel to will. You'd have to just, hey, on this package, here's our nickel, here's our will, here's our safety.
Let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then Jason Huber.
Not gonna lie, I was gonna ask the same question Elena was gonna ask, but the trade deadline came and went. Were there any areas that you were hoping to address that you didn't get to address through that you may address further through practice squads, free agency, or anything like that?
I think Marty and his staff, they're always trying to improve the team. Specific, as you guys know, to get a guy in here for the practice squad, it's a 7-day wait this year. So, you have to sign someone now hoping that they're ready, sometime next week. Needed. You're really trying to look into the future. So it's as difficult a process as you can imagine, just in terms of seeing what the future holds. But yeah, we're always trying to look and see, hey, who's out there? How can they help us? We believe that even improving some position on practice squad makes our team better. And we're just trying to improve the team in every area.
Hey, Matt, I've got 2 questions for you. The first one, I'm not sure how much you can answer, but with the backup quarterback position, with PJ Walker and with McCaffrey possibly coming back in the near future, is that something that still you can go week by week, especially because you mentioned Walker being an emergency, possibly running back? Would Will Greer come more into consideration as being the backup if McCaffrey comes back?
Yeah, I think once Christian's back, that whole, hey, PJ having to be the third tailback, is no longer as important, and it can be strictly based on, quarterback play, quarterback preparation, the quarterback test, all the different things that Jake and Joe, use each week. It won't be as system, position. Hey, I'm also backing up over here based.
And then the second thing, more just with Chiefs facing a team like that, defending champions, one of the, the best team in the league, really. Is there any, I know you want to, you go into every week with the same mindset of wanting to win, but is there any type of message that, you'll kind of see how you do stack up kind of against the best, or is there any more of a challenge preparing, this week that is on your minds?
Well, the challenge is them on tape. They're a really good team. To me, that's the ultimate challenge. Just how good of a team they are. But for me, we're strictly focused on us and making us better. We feel like we've played a bunch of games that we feel like we could have won, but we did not win, and we feel like we did not win them because of our performance by the coaches, players, staff, everyone. The Carolina Panthers, us. If we were just a player or two better, would have won those games. And so we're trying to focus on getting a couple plays better every week. And if that means we win this week, next week, the week after, awesome. But if we continue to improve, there will come a day where we will, we'll win and win consistently, because every week we get better. And so this week, excited about the opportunity to go to Kansas City and play. We know they have a great team, but my focus is on our staff and players and the Carolina Panthers.
All right, guys, we have time for two more. So let's go to JB Ricks and then finish up with Joe Person.
Hey, Coach, JB Ricks here from Spectrum News 1. Thanks for taking out the time. Andy Reid said about you earlier that he was very impressed with how you were able to put a good product on the field, considering that you didn't have a training camp to work with and you didn't get much time with your players during the off season because of COVID. When it comes to the transition you had to make from college to the NFL, what do you like most about the product that you have put on the field as a first-year NFL head coach through these 8 games? And is there anything that you would change for the second half of the season?
Well, I mean, I think we're a team that's improved every week, but most importantly, we're a team where guys have stepped up. I think if we drew it up coming in, we came in and we said, hey, KK is going to be a stalwart here and Christian's going to be a stalwart here. And, we had different plans for different people. So even with that short training camp, I think we had a good plan. And as those guys got banged up, as those guys got injured, we've had to adapt. And I feel like our coaches, I feel like our players, most importantly, have adapted, and guys have stepped up and filled roles. And so as we now begin to see guys come back, right, if we can get Christian back, if we can get Russell back, if we can get, Yetur back, if we can get Burris back, if we can get guys back, then what we also have gained is we've gained the experience of some of those other guys. And so we get Rhule back, we get Schofield and Larson back, hopefully. So I guess my point being, I love the fact that guys have stepped up. I love the fact that our staff has adapted. If we can, take that approach, I think I said from the very beginning with COVID, whatever we do now under the hardest of circumstances will be built to last, because it won't be like this forever. And when we do have OTAs and training camps, the foundation that we build now is something special. All that being said, I would like to see us go win close games. We've done a lot of good things. We've been in position to win games. But we've had 4 games where we came down to the end and we weren't able to go get the W. And I know our players feel that way. They'd be the first to tell you that. And me as well. We want to go win those close games in this second half of the season. And so we'll keep trying to improve. We'll keep trying to see guys step up, but we also want to go win the close games.
Thanks so much.
Matt, did you guys, I'm assuming, kind of keep tabs on Seth DeValve after releasing him with the non-football injury? And then related, what does he bring to you guys, and is kind of like a sort of a trade deadline acquisition in a different kind of way?
Well, when we signed Seth in free agency, we really liked him as a pass receiving tight end, a guy who can get down the seam, catch the ball. Initially, as he was in the virtual meetings, extremely intelligent football guy, football character, liked everything about him. His situation arose. He had to go get himself healthy. Got himself healthy. I obviously, was working, but Marty stays on top of those things. And the hope was that if he ever did get healthy, we could, convince him to come back here. And, he's cleared now. He cleared the testing protocols. He's, on the practice squad. And so what exactly we have in him, I saw him today for the first time live, so it's almost like what I would have normally seen in a rookie mini camp, veteran mini camp I saw today for the first time. So we'll see where he's at over the next couple days, much like Christian. I even pulled him aside today and said, hey, don't try to do too much, don't, this is something that we want to build you into. So, but he's definitely someone we signed, with purpose. So to get him back here was something that we wanted.